So this is LG's beast of a gaming monitor, the 27GK750F. Love that name. And aside from some other pretty sweet specs and features, the 240Hz refresh rate is pretty much the main attraction here. There's also a 2 millisecond response time with FreeSync support, or you can enable what LG's calling motion blur reduction and lower the response time to 1 millisecond, but of course at the sacrifice of FreeSync. At 27 inches, it falls into that sweet spot size for a lot of people, but with a 1080p resolution at around $450, I think it'll be a hard sell for a lot of folks, considering there's plenty of 1440p monitors with 144Hz refresh rates for less. So who would want to splash the extra cash for something with lower resolution? Well, competitive gamers, like people either seriously trying to get into esports or people who are already actual esport gamers whose income literally depends on their performance. You know, that or ballers who just want to flex. Douchebags. So as far as gameplay performance at 240Hz, yeah, it's stupid smooth. Like, it's almost criminal how smooth it is. Switching that 1 millisecond motion blur reduction on and off, I think I may have been able to see a very slight difference in sharpness while jumping around like a moron pretending I'm a pro gamer, which I am most certainly not. There goes that dream. But then again, I think most pro competitive gamers will be the type of people who have the eyes and brains to actually see and fully appreciate what it's doing. Either way, on or off at 240Hz or even 144Hz, it's as smooth as my one-liners before I got married. That's right, your boy's got game. Now for a TN panel, depending on what image profile you've got set, colors can actually pop really nicely. Side-to-side viewing angles are pretty decent, but top-to-bottom viewing angles aren't as good. So I just found I needed to make sure my eyes are centered with the middle of the screen, which, you know, they should be anyways. The on-screen display menu is pretty easy to navigate thanks to that easy-to-find joystick button located in the middle at the bottom. In here, I left pretty much everything default except for the brightness, which by the way goes up to 400 nits. So with the brightness, because I normally have that 1 millisecond motion blur reduction feature turned on, the default brightness actually takes quite a hit because of that whole extra black frame strobing thing. So to compensate, I bumped the brightness up to 100%, which to my eyes seems to line up with it at 50% when motion blur reduction's turned off. There's a bunch of image profiles which you can get to from the first four-way menu or by going straight into the full settings list. I personally prefer the Gamer 1 profile, I just prefer the blacks and colors better. And side note, this monitor only covers 72% of the NTSC color gamut. Not bad, but don't expect to be doing any meaningful professional video or photo editing. In the game adjust settings list, there's an option for black stabilizer, which is kind of cool. It basically adjusts the contrast in dark areas. If you bump it up too much, yeah, it'll wash out your image, but if you spend some time messing around with it enough, which in case you were wondering, no, I don't have the patience for, it does a really good job at revealing all those little bastard campers. So tell them Uncle Jared says hi after you headshot them now that you can actually see them. There's also some on-screen persistent crosshairs that you can load up. So if you're in a game like Call of Duty, for example, and you're playing hardcore mode, well, now you've got your crosshairs back. Cheater. Now, as far as it goes in the looks department, yeah, it's not bad. LG wanted to keep all the bells and whistles like RGB backlighting and razor-thin bezels to a minimum, seeing as this is meant for serious gamers who, at the end of the day, don't give a shit what their monitor looks like, but there is some typical gamer gear red accents here and there. Luckily, what's visible from the front isn't much, but like, can we stop with this whole red and black color scheme? Like, who do we have to shoot to make it stop? Anyways, it's got a nice range of movement, so it can swivel up to 20 degrees, has a max height adjustment from the bottom bezel to the tabletop surface of 8 inches, can tilt forward 2 degrees, backwards up to 15 degrees, and can rotate 90 degrees. It's like a friggin' Olympic gymnast. For I/O, on the back we've got one display port, 2 HDMI ports, a USB 3.0 hub with 2 out, and a 3.5mm headphones port. Personally, this type of monitor, while it's super badass and can give you bragging rights for days, it's not something I'd personally consider buying when there's so many other options with 1440p at 144Hz. But then again, I don't get paid up to 6 figures a year to beat little Asian kids at video games, so I might be a little biased. Either way, I'll have some links on this monitor for you guys in the description. I think that about does it for this one. If you got a kick out of the video, show me some love with that like button, and if you're new to my stuff, don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe for new videos every week. But thanks, as always, for watching, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Cheers.